if you want to make your life feel truly meaningful, if you want to reignite the passion, in your soul, in your heart, if you want to feel alive and like what you do really matters, start with the basics. First of all, take care of yourself. It's really difficult to give from an empty cup. If you aren't sleeping enough, if you're not exercising regularly, if you're not thought journaling or meditating or doing something proactively to improve your mental health, how do you expect yourself to feel good at all? And it's so simple, yet it's so easy to miss because it seems like, it's not really that big of a deal, right? If I skip a day in the gym, or if I don't meditate consistently, if I do a little bit here and there sporadically, I'll be okay, I'll be fine. And that's true, you will be fine, you will get by. But is that what you want? Or do you want to thrive? Do you want to be at your best? Do you want to be the best version of yourself? Because if you do, it demands that you pay the price. And you know what's great? It's not an expensive price. It's just a little bit tedious or repetitive. Maybe you get bored and you just want something new. We crave that novelty in our life to keep us excited. But this is the wrong place to be seeking it. If you don't have the foundations of a consistent routine, make sure that you dial that in first before you start addressing all the other areas. Don't wonder why you have a headache if you're dehydrated and you don't even drink enough water. Of course, the symptom could be coming from something else, but at least make sure you have your bases covered. Then remember that so much of the energy that we get that really, really lights us up comes from helping other people. Not from trying to become the best that we can possibly be by pushing ourselves, by reaching these crazy goals, although that can be rewarding. What's even more rewarding is seeing the impact that you can have on someone else's life, making theirs a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit better, or helping them solve a problem. What a difference it makes. And whether you make a business out of it or not, you should be consistently impacting the world with something that you do. If you don't, then no wonder that you don't feel that true fulfillment, that meaning. We are designed to get the most amount of pleasure and fulfillment really from seeing somebody else do well and thrive. That's exactly how your brain is made up and created. And so if you fight that nature and you only focus on yourself and self-obsessed, then what's going to happen is you will feel this consistent lack of fulfillment, this lack of purpose, and it's almost like life doesn't really have deep meaning. You're not excited, you're not lit up, and it really comes down to making a difference for others. Think about the skills that you have already built and created for yourself. Think about what you are good at, and then ask yourself, who could use my help? Who could I positively impact with this, and what difference could I make? That's the easiest way to start doing something for somebody. And it doesn't matter who, and it doesn't matter what, but it matters that you feel like you're making an impact. Because if you feel like you're making an impact, chances are you are making an impact. And it's a positive upward spiral and momentum that starts from there, where it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It really takes its own momentum on, and once that happens, it's unstoppable. You just feel like you're a good person. You make people happy. You make their lives better, and no one can really argue with that. Now, the next thing that you really need to pay attention to is your attention. You should probably be ignoring a lot of the things that are taking up your focus. Maybe you are listening to and reading the news. Maybe you are consuming content that isn't really constructive or making you feel good, but it's just become part of your routine. It's become normalized, and so you're almost numb to it. What you don't realize is that this is heavily affecting your subconscious mind and making you groggy, giving you that brain fog, just making it really difficult to operate at a high level. And this really bogs you down to the point where you start to question, is there something wrong with me? What's going on with my body? Why am I tired? Why am I lethargic? But the thoughts that you keep, especially the ones that run on autopilot, they're an effect of the inputs around you. So there are probably even people in your life that are very regularly talking about negative things, introducing negative energy into your atmosphere. And because of that, you get pulled down with them. It's important to say no. It's important to have boundaries, and not only to people, but towards all content sources, right? So be careful with what you let into your brain and make sure that it's actually helping you. Ask yourself, have that filter. Is this constructive? Is this healthy? Is this helpful? Or is it garbage and I need to throw it away? Even if you're around somebody that's doing something that feels like it's bringing you down, something negative, then it doesn't mean that you have to accept it. It doesn't mean that you have to believe it. You can still counter or argue it in your own mind, even if not out loud. At the very least, make sure that you are being clear with yourself in terms of what ideas and what thoughts you want to entertain and believe in. And this goes hand in hand with choosing your commitments really, really wisely, because it's so easy to give your word, to say you're going to participate, to say you're going to show up somewhere, to be with somebody, to even tell yourself that you're going to do something regularly, but then you don't. And when you don't, you break your own word to yourself, you don't trust yourself as much, and you lose momentum. And passion, really having that spark, feeling like your life is meaningful, depends on you being able to trust yourself, depends on you feeling good about yourself, and it depends also on following through. Make your promises, sure, but then make sure you actually keep them. Don't make promises that you can't keep. It seems obvious, but so many of us break our promises consistently and then wonder why we don't feel good about ourselves. I used to do that a lot. I remember about 10 years ago, pretty much every promise I made to myself, I would start on Monday with a new diet, and of course, Tuesday or Wednesday, I'd already fallen off and I was struggling. Eventually, I ended up losing over 65 pounds of fat. But it all happened because of the change in my mindset and really understanding how valuable it was. My own word, my own commitments needed to be like gold, something I could truly bank on. Inherently, that involves saying no a lot more. Be comfortable with saying no. Be comfortable in being a little bit uncomfortable because people will put pressure on you, maybe question you. So have your reasons ready and be clear in what you want, because this will make you a stronger person. Really high level fulfillment and happiness and joy, it comes from mastery of something. So when you get really, really good at a skill, at a profession, it makes you feel great about yourself. Of course it does. Of course it feels good to be good at something. And instead of dabbling and doing 100 different things and quitting all of them and trying a little bit of this and a little bit of that, if you have a few skills that you polish and that you keep working and improving on, wow, the difference that it makes to your character, because so few people are able to stick through, follow through, to be consistent with something long-term, a practice or a skill. It's so easy to just slide off, to fall off, and to find something new and exciting and to look for the next thing. And I'm not saying don't explore, but remember, fulfillment, it requires mastery. Mastery of any skill, any area, immediately. The way that it lifts you up, the way that it makes you feel, it's incredible. And if you want my personal support and guidance, if you want somebody to hold you accountable to consistently keep improving week over week over week, then I invite you to jump over to erafael.com. Link is in the description. Over there, you can book a free one-on-one consultation with me. We'll talk, see if we're a good fit. And if so, I'll be coaching you every single week, holding you accountable and supporting you to becoming really your best self. Again, if you want to take advantage, erafael.com. Link is in the description. As always, I hope that you enjoyed this one, and I will catch you on the next one.